right in and round. Far after what you've done to me, I know I'm wrong to be. The laughing stars all over town. I used to think this could happen to a pile of me. For it's not all fun getting through your door. And you don't seem to want me, the new love you have found. And maybe the song calls out. I go down to the river and slowly walk around. And if my laws don't change a lot, I'll jump right in and drown. Far after what you've done to me, I know I'm wrong to be. The laughing stars all color down. That was an old song that the late Reno and Smiley recorded many years ago in one of their fine projects, and I never did think they got the recognition that they deserved. They were some of the pioneers in this bluegrass music, along with Bill Monroe and the Stanley Brothers and the Osborne Brothers and Melvin Goins, and that's just to name a few of them. So if you get checking on your literature back in the history of bluegrass music, Monroe and the Stanleys and Flatt and Scruggs and the Osbornes and Jim and Jesse, they were the ones that laid all this stuff out that you hear the other groups are doing now. And it wasn't for them, I don't know, this wouldn't be much bluegrass going on, because they laid it all out, and we're just picking it up and trying to keep it going. And when we get too old to do it, maybe some of the younger people will keep it going, because we've got a lot of young people that comes up to our music barn on Saturday night, and I see lots of young people that some of you people goes around some of the bluegrass festivals. There's lots and lots of young people getting into this music, and they're making good musicians, and it's good because, you know, we're going to get too old one of these days and we'll just have to sit there and listen. And I'm glad of it myself. Somebody's got to do it, you know.
Well, we want to welcome you all to the SEBA Beginning Master Series, and we have Georgia Master Bluegrass musicians, Roger and Randall Everett, the famous Everett Barn here, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves, a little bit about history of bluegrass in Georgia, and hope you all enjoy this. Roger and Randall.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. We're just real glad to be here with you, and maybe we can do something that you'll like just a little bit. If you haven't been up to our place, well, we'd like to invite you to come up. If you haven't been in a long time, well, we'd like to get you to come back. And we'd like to thank the people that's going to have their 20th anniversary. We're just glad that they thought enough of us to have it up there at our music barn. And we're more than welcome them to come up and visit with us anytime that they want to. Anytime they want to have a occasion like that or anything, why, just let us know and we'll be glad to cooperate. So that's what we're there for.
Anyway, I'm Roger Everett, and Randall and I have been playing since back in '63. He was playing guitar already, and of course I was just a kid, and he actually was. He was probably in his 20s, and of course at our age now, that's a kid to us, you know. But I picked up the guitar and was getting interested in that and learned to pick a few, some of the old gospel songs that Platt and Scruggs and them used to do, finger pick style, and we had us a little talent contest at the local radio station up in Beaufort, and we went up and entered that and won the talent contest, and we got to play on the Stars of Tomorrow, and we got second runner-up in that, and everything branched from, we started having friends over to help play, and we did this to entertain our mother and dad, really, because we had a brother that got killed with the police department at that time, and it kind of helped get your mind off of things. And we had so many friends that was coming over and playing, and the house got too small, so we built a bigger room on the house, and it wasn't no time till it got too small. And by this time, we had kind of switched over to really the bluegrass type field of music, and we saw Platt and Scruggs a few times, and Randall got to go see them live. I never did, but he did, and that done it for me, you know, for wanting to learn to play bluegrass music. And so we started in the bluegrass field, and before long the house and the extra room we built on it got too small, so we built a barn out back, and it's been there for 34 years this summer, and sometimes it's way too small, but and we still use the house like we always did for jamming and that kind of thing. But we just love the music, and we operate strictly off a donation. We didn't get into it to make money, you know. We just love to play the music, and we've enjoyed it ever since.
Hey Roger, can you tell about how you actually put the barn together?
Well,
Where you got the...
one of my brothers knew a guy down at Norcross that had a lumber company, and he knew of this house that they were going to tear down to expand the lumber company, and told us that we could have the house if we would tear it down, you know. So we went down there and we tore the whole thing down, got windows, everything, and all we left was the dirt. And we moved it all the way up to Swanee on two 51 model Chevrolet pickup trucks, and we recut all the lumber and cleaned all the nails out. My dad did all that, and my dad and my older brother, they kind of were the architects of the bunch, you know. So they designed it, and we built it from that. Been there ever since.
Have you noticed, any of you that has been up there, you know that there's no center post in the middle. We got, thank you, sir. We got cables and pipe that's holding it together, and so our older brothers wanted and designed it that way with the barn roof on it and all that, you know, all that stuff. It was his design, and he got him a piece of paper and sat down there at the table and said, now this is, you know, we're going to try to do it this way if we can make it work, you know. So he sat down there and he figured out how he was going to do that without putting the post in the middle to hold it up. And so that's how I done it. And we got those pipe in there, and we got cables in there. That's what's holding it together. And we've had to do repair work, and on one side, on the left hand side going into the barn, we had to redo that one time, and it cost about $800 or $900 to get that fixed. But other than that, that's probably been the biggest expense on the side of the barn. Now we put in bathrooms and tried to you know, get it modernized a little more but we used one there for several years. I don't know, it's probably 25 years. We didn't have but one bathroom on the whole property to accommodate the crowd. That was one at the house. And so we started having benefit shows in to make up money to where we could put the bathrooms in. And so we appreciate all the people that's been good to us over the years, and anytime anybody wants to come, why, they're more than welcome. We don't, as I said before, we don't allow no alcoholic beverages up there, and we've been doing it for 34 years, and we've been playing in that building, and we've been doing it about 36 years with the room on the back of the house and in the barn too. We built that room in 1968 on the back of the house, and in 1969 we had our mother and dad's 50th wedding anniversary in that house out there. And I bet we probably had anywhere from 200 to 500 people in that one old house there, you know. And
Pretty crowded.
yeah, it'd take you 5 minutes to go from one room to the next. It could be, but see, we planned that for about 6 months in advance. You see, and we got several groups to come and play, and so we just, you know, it just people were good enough to come by and visit with us, and thought enough of us to do that. We moved there on that place there in 1956. I wasn't but 15 years old, and we moved there in October, and my birthday was in December that same year, and I was 16 years old, and I lived there 39 years before I got married. And then this place is still ours. We still use it, and so even though I don't live there, it's still in the Everett's name, and it's just like it was. So we've met a lot of people over the years, some as good a people as they are over the years since we've been playing music. We've had some good entertainment there, and some as good music as you'll hear anywhere. So if you hadn't gotten anything to do some Saturday night and want to go somewhere, why, come up and visit with us, and we'll try our best to entertain you, okay?
I give you a little information on this. We started playing in a little group. Our sister, Pauline, she sang the tenor with us, and Ray Deaton, that was his mother with them third time out, and so Ray was just a little tot then. He was just a kid, and so he got involved in singing and stuff, and got where he could sing pretty good. And so when he got up old enough, you know, he wanted to play, and so he started playing with us. He played with us for 15 years till he went with Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver. And tell you a little funny story. When he was playing with us, we decided we'd enter a talent contest up in Dahlonega at Blackburn Park, and they had it on I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but the talent contest was on Thursday. So Ray called me Wednesday afternoon and says, "Hey, let's go enter that talent contest." I said, "I'm not too much on talent contest." And he said, "Yeah, let's do it." I said, "Okay." So I called Randall and Bobby Autry, our bass player at the time. And they were only a 4-piece band then. And Ray played the mandolin and sang the tenor. And they said, "Okay." So we got together and got off of work that afternoon, Thursday afternoon. We went to the Dahlonega, to the Blackburn Park at the talent contest, and when we got out of the car and got our instruments and stuff and walked down and registered, we was number 7 band to play in the contest. Well, number 5 was on the stage, you know, and I think you played like 5 tunes. So we just took a scratch piece of paper out of our wallet and wrote down the tunes we was going to do, and we was fortunate enough to win the contest. So we had to go back Friday and open the show like for the Osborns, you know, which was a pretty big deal back then. And so Randall had a 71 Chevrolet station wagon, 73, and that was our traveling wagon. And Ray, he always did the driving, and was always late. And
That's his middle name.
yeah, Ray Late Deaton. And anyways, so we was heading up there for that Friday show, and running about 70 or 75, and I felt the back end of the car kind of squabble a little bit. He said, "Uh-oh, we got a flat tire," and we did. So we pulled off the road right quick, and Bobby's son Jeff Autry was with us, and so we got out and we changed that tire and made it to the park about an hour before we were supposed to play, which I thought that was pretty good. But that was a pretty good pit stop now. It's one we didn't have a wreck as fast as we were running, had a flat tire, but we didn't. But
we traveled all for a long time, but that's the first time, after all those years that we ever had we didn't travel a whole lot, you know, but of all the places that we went, that's the first time, though, we've had a flat tire on the road. I think that's pretty good, you know.
Our dad actually played banjo back. This is before I was born.
Me too. Quit. Before I was born. Too.
And he played the Grandpa Jones type, the drop thumb clawhammer type banjo. And him and Mama belonged to a Hardshell Baptist church down in Barrow County. That's where all the Everett County come from. And he got turned out of church because he played at a dance at one of the neighbors' barns, you know. And the church found out about it, and they kicked him out of church there for several months, you know. They finally let you come back in, but you had to be out for so long. But I thought that was pretty funny. That there wasn't any drinking or anything at the dance, you know. It's just people dancing, and they didn't allow that. But I thought that was pretty cool. Well, you want to play another tune?
It don't matter. Whatever y'all want to do. It's there. What do you think? All right. What you want to do? You want to pick one or sing one?
Sing, you sing one, yeah.
All right. Let's do did you have me sing a congratulations, right?
Yes.
Jim and Jesse recorded a album several years ago, and I never heard this song before, if I can remember all of it. And it's real something different, and so we worked it up here several years ago. It's been 20 years ago or longer, I guess. And we hadn't done it in a long time till here a while back. We kind of fooled around. But anyway, it's a tune called Congratulations Anyway. It goes like this right here. I saw you and your new love today. Although I tried to turn my head and look the other way, just being back so close to you was more than all I could bear. Although I tried to forget about our love affair. Congratulations was so hard to say, as I shook your good and you looked the other way. Although my dreams have been dead, I tried to smile and say, I'm the loser, but congratulations anyway. Congratulations was so hard to say, as I shook your good and you looked the other way. All of my dreams groups, if y'all ever paid any attention to them much, they change, members a lot, but we never did do that a whole lot. We got a boy since Roger quit playing the banjo. He's been picking with about 15 years, and we got a bass player that him and me went to school together over there at Swanee in the grammar school. Back when I was going to school, it's been a long time. I'd have to count it up. But the grammar school and the high school were in the same building. The grammar school was in one end, the high school in the other. And we went to that same school. And we've been playing music together now for 30 years, the same bass player. And now the mandolin player ain't been playing, about a year maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a year. And that's we've been real fortunate over the years to have played, even when Ray was playing with us. Our dad told us back before we ever started playing music and having people over, says y'all can play anytime you want to and as long as you want to, and said there won't be no drinking going on, and there won't be no drinking with the ones that you play with. So they ain't gonna put up with it, and that's the way we started out. And we've been real fortunate over the years to have had the opportunity to play with some good musicians that didn't drink, and it's hard to find sometimes. I know I hear about it every once in a while. This one and that one over there drinks, and this one over here, and you're going to have to go get him ready before you go to play and all that kind of stuff, But we've never had that problem, and over the years we've been real lucky about that. And since we've been playing music, and we've been playing regular with the band, I guess, since 1965. I mean, with a band, and so we've enjoyed every minute of it. I have, and met some, as I said, some as good people as they are, and some great musicians, and some as good a people as they are that comes and listens. If people didn't come and listen, there wouldn't be no need for us to play anyway, because they're just as big a part of it, I think, is the ones that play. Because if you're entertaining these people right here or anywhere, they'll come back. If you don't entertain them, or if you have problems wherever you're playing, they won't come back. So that's what we've strived for all these years, to have a place that you can bring your family and you won't be afraid somebody will say something or fall down on somebody or insult somebody. It can be done, and I think that we've done it. And I'm not saying we're any better than anybody else, but you can do it. There's no way that now I know some of you people, if you've ever been to American Legion, they'll drink, and cut up. Sometimes they'll be fighting, but you can't do it. It's at our house, just like if I was to go to your house or yours. You can't do that. No, if you do, you don't have none but problems. And so we just try to stop it before it happens. This fellow right here, he's been up there a bunch of times. We ain't never had no problems having. People leave stuff up there, leave tuners and you have to get them,
Even guitars sometimes.
Yeah, and they'll come back and they say, well, it's just right where I left it, We have never, as far as I can remember, as nothing has been picked up and carried out of there that wasn't supposed to be,
Do you have a most memorable evening in the 34 years? Is there those magical times?
I guess when our mother and dad's 50th wedding anniversary, we had a real good crowd that time, and I guess when I don't know, it's just there's been so many of them. There's so many different things that's happened to us that it'd be hard to really pick out one except our mother and dad's 50th anniversary.
There was another occasion Of course, our dad had already passed away, but the first professional group that ever came to the barn was Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver. And they came into the house, you know, and played some for our mother, and she really enjoyed that. So when they did 5 or 6 tunes, and when they got through, Doyle said, "Well, it's time for us to go to work." And Mom said, "Go to work?" Said, "Where are you going to work at?" He said, "Well, we got to go over to the barn and play, you know." She said, "Well, when you get through, just come on back over here and pick some more, you know." And of course, she didn't, you know. Of course, that's what all the professionals call it, working, you know. They don't call it picking, they call it working. But I thought that was pretty good. And Doyle even talks about that the last time I got to see him, you know. He was talking about that. He always remembered that. And she really enjoyed that because they did some good gospel stuff for her, you know, and she really enjoyed that. And but we done a Jim and Jesse tune just now, and I guess our most influenced band far as influencing us to play is probably Flat and Scruggs. And if anybody's ever heard us play, they probably know that. But we'll get Randall to do you a tune we done earlier before they got the film rolling. And I wonder how the old folks are at home, and he does a good job on that. So I'll see if I can get him to do that.
One how the old folks.
Yeah.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
All right.
No charge. All right, let's go.
Listen to it, just tell us, we'll just shut up, you know. But anyway, I had heard them on the TV. You know, they came on, I think it was on a Saturday afternoon or something, I'm sure. Anyway, they were sponsored by Martha White, you know, and so I seen them in person, on TV several times, and I found out they were going to be in Winder, Georgia, back in 1962 on a Friday night. I was working part-time at a service station. Now, this is before I went to work for Coca-Cola in 1962, So I asked my dad about the middle of the week. I said, would you think you would be interested in going to Winder, Georgia on a Friday night to see Flat and Scruggs? And I didn't even have a car, you know, and he was driving it. And he said, well, we'll see about it. And I said, well, it won't cost you nothing. I said, all you got to do is carry me down there, and I'll pay a way in, you know. And he said, okay. So Friday it rained all day that day, you know. It was in wintertime, in February. So he come in from work, and we got ready and took off down there. And it was so foggy you couldn't see the end of that wall right there, you know. But we made it. Got down there and so got in the building. It's a Lions Club building. It's about as big as this right here, you know. And that place was packed out down there. And they come on. They were the only group there. They played 2 one-hour shows. And I said to myself, I said, I'm going to do some of that before I die, you know. And that's really what got me into it. Just sitting up there and watching those guys do that, you know, just like it was nothing, you know, just like you walking across the floor right here. And I said, man, I'm going to do some of that, you know, and that's I believe that's what got me started, you know. And I'm just been real fortunate. I've had a lot of bad health here lately, but I've been real fortunate over the years to have had the opportunity to do it, and I haven't regretted it at all over the years. Okay, anybody else? That's what?
I'd like to know about Roger. When you said you started on guitar, when did you move over to the banjo? Was that your second instrument, and the fiddle your third instrument?
Yeah, I probably played guitar a couple of years. We had a fellow playing the banjo with us some, J.D. Wallace from over in Alpharetta, and I just enjoyed watching him play, and he didn't hardly have the Scruggs type lick, you know, but I watched him play enough that I believe I could figure it out, you know, and so when we take a break or something from picking around the house there, I'd grab his banjo up, you know, and mess with it some, and just kind of switched over to the banjo, and I played the banjo for about 20 years, and of course you can't tell it today, because I don't play it much anymore. I'd play on the fiddle. I've been on the fiddle now for about 18 years, I guess. And but I still miss playing the banjo a lot.
Pick that one up most of the time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. But really, it's hard to. Fiddle's a strange instrument. It's hard to temperamental, you know, and. There's an old saying about fiddles, if you mispractice one day, you can tell it, and if you mispractice 2 days, everybody can tell it, you know, and that's pretty true. But I've enjoyed playing. I just thankful I was given a talent to learn how to play stuff, you know, on the fiddle and the banjo, and to not be able to read music, you know, it's pretty hard to pick up stuff, and then. Of course, nowadays, the young people that's coming up now playing, there is so much more music out there for them to hear. It's more saturated with bluegrass music than it used to be. When we was learning to play stuff, if you didn't buy an album or something of that nature, it was hard you can't find the music on it, you know. And so it was hard to pick up stuff and watching people on TV, you know. And Scruggs and Alan Shelton was probably my main hero as far as playing the banjo, and they always fascinated me. Alan was always underrated on his banjo playing, and of course Scruggs was always great, you know. But anytime a musician can play something and what you're seeing is not what you're hearing, it's kind of hard to explain. That's pretty accomplished musician, because you can see what they're doing and know what they're doing, but what you're seeing ain't what you're hearing, you know. And it's pretty amazing. It's always fascinating to me about stuff like that.
And you see, you get back when we were, you know, it's like you said, see, lots of times, you know, they had the albums then, you know, They didn't have these CDs and stuff. And we bought whole albums a lot of times just to get maybe one song off of it, you know. And you had to learn to play that stuff by sound. You didn't have no picture there to show you see. You just had to figure it out the best way you could, and phrasing the words and getting the tune as close to it as you can. But now, you see, they got, if any of y'all take that Bluegrass Unlimited, why you can get tons of videos now showing you how to do all this stuff. See, they didn't have it back then, you see. And I don't know where it would have helped us or not, but see, all these young people, see, they got that stuff right there, and say like a banjo player, say like back when we were growing up, see, if he played that tune there on the TV, you know, all right,